Test. Test, test, test. Audio test 1, 2, 3. Test 1, 2, 3, podium mic. Audio test. 1, 2, 3. Good morning to our attendees who are joining us on the virtual platform. I do see a hand raised. If you would like to offer public commentary or comment on any of our agendized items, please raise your hand at this time. I'll record your information for the record and call upon you when we reach your item. I'm going to go ahead and ask Sandra to unmute and identify which item you'd like to speak on. Good morning, Sandra.
Good morning, TJ. Can I speak on all items today, please?
Yes, all agendized items as well as public comment?
Yes, please.
Very well. I have you done for public comment and multiple agenda item commentary.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and put you back on mute and lower your hand. And move next to Yvonne. Good morning, Yvonne. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I just want to do general comment today. Thank you.
Very well. I have you down for general public comment.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and put you back on mute and lower your hand. And if there are any other members of the public who wish to offer commentary, I do see Gigi. However, you don't have your hand raised. I will make another call out in approximately 10 to 15 minutes to see if there are any other members of the public who have joined us who wish to offer commentary. Thank you. Good morning once again to our attendees who are joining us here in the board hearing room. If you're a member of the public who wishes to offer commentary on any of our agendized items or public comment, please fill out a speaker card located in the back of the room, indicate which item you'd like to speak on, and hand it to me. I'll record your information for the record and call upon you when we reach your item. Good morning as well to our attendees who are joining us on the virtual platform. I have Sandra and Yvonne, who have already checked in and indicated which item they'd like to speak on. I do see a couple of other hands raised. If you are joining us on the virtual platform and would like to offer public comment or commentary on multiple agenda items, please raise your hand. I'll ask you to unmute, identify yourself for the record and which item you'd like to speak on, and then I will call upon you when we reach your item. Good morning, Jill.
General only. Thank you.
Very well. I'll have you down for general public comment. Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and put you back on mute and lower your hand. And I'll move next to Audit LA. Good morning. Good morning, Audit LA. I see that you've unmuted. However, the board is not receiving audio input from you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, there we go. Good morning.
Good morning. I would like everything, general public and all items, please.
Very well. I have you down for public comment and multiple agenda item commentary.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and put you back on mute and lower your hand. Oops. My system is moving kind of slow this morning. I apologize. Gigi, good morning.
Good morning, TJ. I would like general public and I'm going to speak on the minutes again. So general public and minutes, please.
So I have you down for public, general public comment, and you indicated that you wish to offer commentary on approval of minutes. Very well. I have you down for that item.
Can I do that during multiple?
It's if you're requesting only one item to speak on.
Okay, then I'll do minutes 1 and 2.
Okay. So we have minutes items. So the 3 items that you're indicating that you wish to speak on are minutes items 1 and item 2.
Right, and general public.
Got it.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and put you back on mute and lower your hand. If there are any other members of the public who wish to offer commentary, please fill out a speaker card located in the back of the room. Indicate which item you'd like to speak on. Hand it to me and I'll record your information for the record. If you're joining us on the virtual platform and you have not already done so, please raise your hand, identify yourself for the record and which item you'd like to speak on, and I will record your information for the record. And I will call upon you when we reach your item. It is 9:50. If I will make another call out for public commentary in approximately 6 minutes, and the board will start its meeting in approximately 10 minutes. Thank you. Good morning once again to our attendees who are joining us here in the Board of Public Works hearing room. If there's any member of the public who wishes to offer public commentary, and you've not already done so, please fill out a speaker card located in the back of the room, indicate which item you'd like to speak on, hand it to me. I'll record your information for the record and call upon you when we reach your item. Good morning as well to our attendees who are joining us on the virtual platform. I currently have Sandra, Yvonne, Jill, Adelaide, and Gigi who have indicated that they wish to offer commentary. If there are additional members of the public on the virtual platform who wish to offer commentary, please raise your hand, identify yourself and which item you'd like to speak on, and I'll record your information for the record. I do see Children's Voices Matter. No?
Yes, hello. If I could comment on public comment, please.
Very well. I have you down for public comment.
Thank you.
President Kang, we are now in record mode.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Public Works for Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025. Mr. Knight, please take roll and establish quorum.
Yes, good morning, President Kang, Vice President Chavez, President Pro Tem Grant, Commissioner Mitchell, and Commissioner Cardenas are present. We have a quorum. We are joined this morning by City Attorney Representative Virginia Choi. I'm TJ Knight with the Board of Public Works. President Kang, we have 6 public commenters on the virtual platform, 3 multiple agenda item commenters on the virtual platform, and 1 public commenter and 3 items in the room, and 1 single item commenter in the hearing room this morning. We have no neighborhood council commentary this morning.
All right. We will get started with general public comment, which is an opportunity for the public to address the board on public interest items and will be provided up to 1 minute per person, up to a cumulative total of 10 minutes for the general public comment segment of each regular meeting. Testimony shall be limited in content to subject matters which are within the jurisdiction of the Board of Public Works. The board may not take any action on any matters discussed during the public comment period. We will start with in-person speaker. First up, we have Mr. Herman.
Is this my 3 minutes?
1 minute general public comment.
Oh, general public comment. All right. Snyder versus Phelps. You're all going to hell. God hates you. Thank God for IEDs. America is doomed thanks to Jenny Chavez and her 2 children and to the other hypocrites of this horseshoe. Like you, Kang. You support China? You support Korea? You support the fucking summit? That's the reason why I'm here. I support America. And I know we're doomed. Finally, God will answer my prayers and you will all motherfuckers die. Just like me. Except I know where I'm going. I know where I'm at. I know where I live. I see it in my dreams when I sleep my 2 fucking hours every fucking night. 42 USC 1983 politely. Fuck you.
Thank you very much. We will transition over to our virtual platform.
Thank you, President Kang. We'll go ahead and start with Sandra. Good morning, Sandra.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you, TJ. Cheers. I have some questions regarding the validity and legality of the name change back on October 8th, 1996 to LRH Way. I was just looking at the names and the letters corresponding about support of this document being passed, and I see a lot of people living under the same roofs. Was this verified against the Los Angeles area census to ensure they were actual residents of the street and the actual city of Los Angeles. Anyway, just noticed, like they're not just Scientologists who were trafficked to LA and forced to sign a letter. Ann Archer and John Travolta are definitely not residents of the area around El Runway. The street name should be changed back and the bricks removed. They have violated the agreement on the R permit a multitude of times over and over again. Thank you, and I yield back my time.
We'll move next to Yvonne.
Thank you, TJ. I sent the administrative assistant a heads up regarding the event on September 1st, Labor Day celebration there at Scientology. It was advertised on Eventbrite for the community. It was not on the special events permits listing at BSS. My concerns did not all pan out. They did not have the blaring speakers, sound walls. They did not have live music. They did not have a food vendor. They did not have a table selling Dianetics. They did have a extremely tall, above 12-foot apparatus there that is a climbing and water slide, which I continue to have concerns over. If a child falls from that height onto the cement,
Thank you, Yvonne.
They-
And that's 60 seconds. We'll move next to Jill, followed by Audit LA.
Okay, I'm reiterating everything what the two previous speakers just spoke about. I also want you to revoke the R permit. I'm also letting you know that who you're dealing with a very deceptive cult. They lie. They use their permitted events to get people to join. Just an FYI, probably not really in your purview, but on September 7th, the Church of Scientology of the Valley on 11455 Burbank Boulevard is advertising an internationally acclaimed violinist, Roberto Canny. The big punchline is that Roberto Canny died in April of 2025. So what kind of bait and switch are they pulling at that place? I just wanted to let you know you're dealing with liars. Bye.
And we'll move next to Audit LA, followed by Gigi.
Good morning. I want to reiterate what Yvonne was saying about that big slide. The last event they had, I did confirm with Building and Safety that they did not have any inspections because this was in their parking lot, but it is very dangerous looking. It's starting to kind of collapse from the top. To me, it could be a potential safety hazard. I'm going to check again to see with Inspector Surfois whether or not they had a permit for this time, inspection for this time. I don't believe they are, and there's no real recourse because they're like saying they don't, because it's posed. How can they complain? But I'm letting you know that that slide needs to be inspected if they're ever going to use it again. Also, I want to say they know about the slave labor because you know what? Now when I come to look at these events, they make sure that none of their people are on the street. There are security guards that harass and harangue everyone. They run inside when they see me coming because.
Thank you, Audit LA. That's 60 seconds. And we'll move next to Gigi, followed by Children's Voices
Thank
Matter.
you.
Good morning. I'd like to start off by saying I really appreciate how this commission listens. Even when someone like the first person who spoke is saying words that are hard to hear, he's calling people out by names and saying really bad, hurtful things. You guys are listening and paying attention. And that earns a lot of respect from me. Like, I really appreciate that. I also want to take this time to point out, way back in the day when the president started, I sort of got on him for not being on time or being the last one in the room. But President King, you've done awesome at being early, like so many times when I attend these meetings. So thank you. I appreciate that too. Also, look into that inflatable slide they're talking about rip the bricks up, put in metered parking, and change the name back to North Berendo. Thank you.
Greetings, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. Children's Voices Matter.
Thank you for hearing me speak. So I want to continue with the children that Scientology failed. Number 36 is Tristan Silverman, Catherine Spallino, Candro Blanco, Bianca Larson Lanciai, Nathan Rich, Natalie Webster, Lana Webster, Sana Kamula, Lauren Haggis, Astor Woodcraft, Zoe Woodcraft, Bree Mood, April Cass, Leah Farrow, Dallas Hill, Haley Dawn, Stephanie Caldoni, Reese Cabell, Sunny Bieria, Damian Perkins, Vicky Palmer, Janice Grady, Derek Block, Aiden Anderson, Sandrine Litchfield, Taylor Tweed, Sasha Zipnoff, Julian Wayne, Catherine Wayne, Brandon Riesdorf, Day Riesdorf, Julia S. Gilman, Sean Cook, Sam Crabtree, Patricia Decker.
Thank you. Children's Voices Matter. That's 60 seconds. President King, that concludes the public commenters on the virtual platform who had previously indicated that they wish to offer commentary. However, during that block of time, there have been 3 additional hands raised. And just for your awareness, there is approximately 2 minutes left on the 10-minute time block.
Can you check? Yes,
yeah,
thank you,
yeah.
please.
Very well. We'll start. Thank you, President King. We'll start with Mona M. Would you like to offer public commentary this morning?
Yes, good morning, commissioners. Thank you so much for letting me speak today. I had made a previous comment about no accessible parking on Sunset, Fountain, L. Ron Hubbard Way, or Catalina. And there are plenty of public events. The only accessible parking is in the Church of Scientology parking lot, and that is restricted to public parking. It's only for parishioners. So whenever I attend an event there, I do not have public parking available to me for my wheelchair. I have made a report to DOD, and hopefully they are coordinating with you along those lines. Thank you, and I yield back my time.
And we'll move next to Laura FM. I see that your hand is raised. Would you like to offer public comment this morning?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Go ahead. You have 60 seconds.
Okay, I'm attaching along with everything, but also with the whole L. Ron Hubbard, revoke the L. Ron Hubbard Way permit because they have violated it in so many ways. But also, I just wanted the department to know, I wanted the board and the president and everybody to hear this. When I was protesting, again, the other day, I saw one of the known, as we call them, the internal slave members that are on a, they did something wrong, so they're being forced to do amends. And this woman who I was in the CMO, which is an internal group, was on the roof rolling paint on top of the roof in the hot boiling sun on Labor Day. Okay, so that's just one thing. Also, another person told me that they are now, because we've been calling in and reporting this to the board, they are now having these Sea Org members do the work at nighttime. They're cutting trees and trimming trees and doing gardening work in the sidewalk cleanup in the middle of the night at 3 a.m. So please.
Thank you, Laura FM. That's 60 seconds. President King, that does conclude the 10-minute time block. However, we do have one additional hand raised. If you'd like, we can
Yes, please.
see if Lurker would like to offer public commentary this morning. Good morning, Lurker. I see that your hand is raised. Would you like to offer public comment?
Yes, I would.
Go ahead.
I just am dumbfounded at all of this. Can you understand an old woman who started her life with no TV in her house, coming up believing in America and America's values and America's laws? What good is a law that is not enforced? Why? In this day and age, is a street in America taken over by a company or a whatever you want to call it? There's many names. One of them is cult, which this company is viewed as by the rest of the world. What the heck? This is
Thank you.
America.
Thank you. That's 60 seconds. And President King, that concludes public commentary this morning.
Thank you very much. With that, we will close the general public comment portion of today's meeting and move on to multiple agenda item public comment. The board will provide an opportunity for members of the public wishing to speak on more than one agenda item during multiple agenda item public comment period for up to a minute per item, up to a total of 3 minutes per meeting. This is the only time to speak on more than one agenda item, and please identify the items that you will speak on when you are called. We will start with in-person speaker cards. First up, we have Mr. Herman. Mr. Herman, you're first for multiple item.
All motherfucking items. I have to say it this way because I'm disgusted with Los Angeles. It's a fucking set hole of enforcing broken laws. There are no broken laws in the United States of America. Pam Bondi has proven to America about what is capital improvements. And that's to rid all the dirty niggers of this $11,709,000 and $618,000 for nigger transportation program in the goddamn Nigger Jefferson Boulevard project. Why is it only one project there? Why can't you have projects throughout the city to recondition, repair, and provide us with adequate, safe motherfucking streets and highways and roads? Governor Newsom, you piece of shit. Like the black first mayor, another piece of shit. Go back to Africa and rape young women. But the problem here is, why is Scientology, those cult niggers, taking away my fucking rights of a street, a sidewalk, in which I, an American citizen, follow the law and can't use my fucking street or sidewalk? Fuck Scientology. Fuck Hubbard, and fuck all those white, unfriendly motherfuckers that threaten my life to use a fucking sidewalk and street in the name of Los Angeles. Fuck your permits, they don't work. Fuck your illegal activities with permits, they don't work. And you, Mr. Kangaroo, are you following a cult? Are you one of these Nazis following a cult? If so, prove it to me that you're not. Stop this fucking shenanigans with Scientology. Fuck them. It's my country, my state, and keep looking at the fucking clock. I know how to manage my time. I'm still on transportation. I use my 2 fucking feet. I walk. I'm disabled. I suffer from a physical and mental disability, and I'm putting it on the record. You keep fucking with America, God is coming for all of you. If he puts in my hand a use of force, it will be, if I can use it, an applied asset to my liability against the city of Los Angeles for fucking with me. So fix my fucking sidewalks off of 1st and Broadway. There's no curb ramp. It's dangerous. Audit LA could have fallen. Audit LA could have broken her wheelchair again. Fix the fucking place. It's right across the street from that nigger Obama federal court. God bless you, Donald Trump.
Thank you very much. We will transition to our virtual platform.
Very well. We'll start with Sandra, followed by Audit LA. Go ahead, Sandra.
Hi. I would like to speak on number 4. I noticed that you are looking to renew contracts with for your disposal of inert concrete, etc. Please make sure that you are vetting these contractors properly, and none of them have any ties or collabs with Scientology, because we know that they try to infiltrate the government in order to, soft talk you all into doing what they want. I see that the this BSS is talking about concrete demolition and recycling. Now, are you aware that these planters, the illegal planters that were placed on the street, that they were filled with debris, about 20,000 kilos of reusable concrete mix. It wasn't actually soil because they had plastic plants in them. Where is that? Did the BSS actually take care of regulating the removal and recycling of that debris once they took it upon themselves to finally comply with your orders to remove those planters? Where did that 20,000 kilos of debris go? And I want to say that I see mentioned in here that BSS takes care of street maintenance, etc. Audit LA was down at an event on September 1st, down at Catalina and Fountain, and she couldn't go down the street because those planters, as well as the overwatering in order to keep protesters off the street and flooding the streets with their sprinkler systems, damaged the concrete and has cracked it, and it has been that way for over a year, and it's on both sides of the street, and nothing has been done to date by BSS in regards to those repairs. So I have a concern about that because it doesn't allow the disabled access in and around those streets, really. So I yield back my time. Thank you.
And we'll move next to Audit LA. Please identify which item you're speaking on. Go ahead, you have 3 minutes.
Okay, I'm going to start with the last one where about the Metro report. We've been, telling you that, there's a Metro right there by L. Ron Hubbard Way, and with it being, no parking and no, and everything closed for it, that you're adding more of a burden for people trying to get to not only the hospitals, but the Metro. So it would be really behoove them to look into it, at least start a report and to, looking in the origins of this no parking. I do not believe it's legitimately no parking. The city cannot prove it to me or to anyone that no one knows where this no parking started. And so I wish Metro would look into it so we can open it up. It belongs to the city, to the public. It is not private property. And so that would help. I also want to tackle on to the debris removal. Like the year prior, okay, and that we came and talked, this is before you were seated, we did talk about it a lot, that there were crews and who said that they were shoring up walls and stuff in the tunnels underneath, because there's tunnels, they go back and forth, and I guess they were reinforcing it because they used to have vans taking their people around. They don't want them to have access to the public, but now they're all under these tunnels. And so all that was excavated, and then with the planters, okay, it looked like a lot of the debris. It wasn't regular soil, or it was construction debris. It looked like, and so like what Sandra said, they put all this water and they put all the heavy planters with this very heavy debris. It completely destroyed the sidewalk on Fountain. I cannot access it at all. I've already once almost flipped out of my chair, and another time I got stuck. For the sinking sand. It's like quicksand. And when I did report it as ADA, they said it's a 10-year wait. So that's ridiculous. And so then now let's with the minutes. I wish it would talk about not only what people say now, and when it comes to the first caller, I have to say I absolutely detest, denounce, and hate the language used. I will not stand by that on any level. But I also hear the frustration of a person for I believe 15 years coming, and all these constant things that never get addressed. And we have I share frustrations with the sidewalks and all these things and what we've been talking about. But nothing is reflected in that you have a community that's coming and, saying and voicing their concerns, and it's not being reflected anywhere. And so I really hope that changes, or at least, and I know you're not allowed to give us feedback when we're speaking, but I do know that.
Thank you. That's 3 minutes, Audit LA.
Thank you.
And President King, that concludes multiple agenda item commenters who had previously, my apologies. Gigi indicated that she wishes to offer multiple agenda item commentary. Go ahead, Gigi.
Okay, thank you for catching that, because that would have sucked. But okay, so I want to speak on the minutes first. I think it could be, user error, but I tried to look at the minutes that you guys are going to vote on to approve, And when I clicked download, all I saw was the date of August 22nd, 2025. I didn't see anything for the minutes. I went through the packet. Maybe I missed it because it's like 160 some pages, but I didn't see the minutes in there that you guys are going to approve. So not only can I not see what the public comments said, but I can't see anything that happened. So it could be my fault. I don't know, whatever. But you guys really need to step it up with those minutes. And I don't expect you to include like all the foul language, don't have to do a play by play, whatever. But if there's just some general idea of what was talked about during public comment, like other meetings do that, and yours are the worst meetings. Like you have nothing. You just say public comment was received. But okay, I'm gonna go to number 2. I see that first the budget was almost 12 million, and now they're coming back for over $1 million more. Okay, there's so many times where I see things that are like approved at one price and then it's above budget. Like I don't remember a time where like someone said they were below budget and giving the money back. I don't know if that happens, whatever, but you're always having to approve more money and more money. So try to find a way to fix it before you even give them the job or whatever. And number 1, Terminal Island Water Reclamation. I see that it's going to be 19.5 million. Hopefully that doesn't turn into like 40 million or 50 million. But that's it. I yield my time.
President King, that concludes multiple agenda item commenters who had previously indicated that they wish to offer commentary. However, there are 2 additional hands raised. If you like, I can see if the 2 online attendees would like to offer public commentary.
Please, yes, please.
Thank you, President King. We'll start with Lurker. Would you like to offer multiple agenda item commentary this morning?
Yes, I would.
Please.
Well, is this just a waste of time? I only have not a whole bunch of time left, and I got a whole lot of grandchildren that I will be leaving to this world that we have entrusted you people to do your job. Just do your job. Listen to the people. Try and do what they say. That might make a world of difference. Just going along to get along has not made much of a difference. Whether you hide the minutes or deduct the minutes.
Speaker, this is a multiple agenda item public comment. Which items are you speaking on today?
The minutes. The minutes. 1 minute at a time. What good are they if nothing is done with the words that are said in those minutes? Please, do your job. There's a reason it was broken at the bottom. It can be fixed from the bottom. Take back
Speaker, if you're only speaking
street.
on one item, please identify that item, and you only get 1 minute for that item.
How about a moment of silence for you to reflect on the world's problems? The world. You can't fix the world. You can fix this street.
If you do not stay on topic regarding one of the agenda items, you will forfeit your time, so please get back on topic.
Okay, I'm forfeiting my time, and I'm leaving it to you to do your best with the position you've been placed in. And realizing.
Thank you, Speaker.
And I see that Lara FM has raised your hand on the online platform. Would you like to offer multiple agenda item commentary?
Yes, please, just on the minutes.
So that's single item commentary.
Yes.
Go ahead, you have 60 seconds.
Yes, okay, so as we're doing our work as civilians, obviously, I'm sure you guys have all been hearing, and thank you even TJ and everybody on the board for being here to listen to people, even if it sounds repetitive and also comes from different angles, from different attitudes and personalities. We do appreciate it. We also, as people who are born and raised in the cult of Scientology, we don't have this time. We never had this opportunity to be able to have this communication and have just a minute or whatever it is for public comment and all of that. And so I just wanted to say we really appreciate you, and we do know that you guys are doing your best to the degree that you can and with the amount of supply and people that you have. We're just trying to make it very aware when we break down that they are abusing the permits and the sidewalks and all of that, and not repairing sidewalks for over 10 years, by the way. That's another thing on another agenda. But so I just, again on the minutes.
Thank you. That's 60 seconds, and that concludes multiple item agenda commentary.
Thank you very much. With that, we will close the multiple item public comment portion of today's meeting, and we'll move forward with the approval of minutes for Friday, August 22nd, 2025. Commissioners, any questions or comments? Seeing none, is there a first and a second?
So move. Second.
First by President Pro Tem Grant, seconded by Commissioner Cardenas.
Very well. We'll go ahead and take a roll call vote on approval of minutes, starting with you, President Kang.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell.
Aye.
And Commissioner Cardenas.
Aye.
All ayes, and this item is approved unanimous.
Thank you very much. Moving to our first consent item on the advertise for the invitation of bids for Council District 15's Terminal Island Water Reclamation Plant Primary Treatment Tanks Improvement CIP 5247. Commissioners, any questions or comments? Seeing none, is there a first and a second?
Second.
First by Commissioner Mitchell, seconded by President Pro Tem Grant.
Very well. We'll go ahead and take a roll call vote on approval of item 1, starting with you, President Kang.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell. And Commissioner Cardenas.
Aye.
All ayes, and item 1 is adopted and will move forward forthwith.
Thank you. Moving on to our second item from the Bureau of Engineering, when Council District 8 revised budget and change order number 38, PALP Inc., DBA Excel Paving.
Hi, good morning, Commissioners. My name is George Huang from the Bureau of Engineering, Street Improvement Division, and I'm here to for this item to regarding the Active Transportation Project (ATP), Jefferson Boulevard Complete Streets. So this project will install complete street elements along Jefferson Boulevard between Vermont Avenue and Western Avenue, and the project will install protected bike lanes, sidewalks, curb extensions, bus bulbs, and pedestrian refuge areas, along with traffic signal improvements. And then in the board report, there's the project's currently in construction, and in Figure 2, you can see some of the construction work that's going on the sidewalk side, and also with some of the conduits that the contractor is installing. So as the project right now is currently about 50% in construction completion, and along the way, we encountered at the start of the project, we encountered a lot discrepancies between the plans and the actual elevation in the field. So when the contractor started constructing some of the improvements, like the sidewalk and the new curb and gutter, we noticed that where the end limits are, there was like a vertical step or drop off between the constructed portion and then with the existing. So we, at the time with BOE, we stopped the project and asked our engineer of record, which was a design consultant, to look into the plans again. So they went out there, did additional survey, and we did find there were discrepancies in some of the survey information. So there was a pause on the project that gave us some time to look at the plans again. So the corrections to those drawings put the project on hold, and the contractor was demobilized in the fall of 2023. So along the way, the Bureau of Engineering and our design consultant went back to revisit the plans and started issuing the corrections to those drawings. But right now, the contractor has started work. He's already doing the work, and right now, as a result of this issue, the contractor submitted a time impact analysis (TIA), which basically is a claim that's of compensable time and extended overhead that they're trying to recover as a result of the delay that was encountered on the project. The Bureau of Engineering, the contractor submitted TIA amount to recover cost was 1.455 million, and based on BOE staff, we also evaluated their TIA, and based on that, we concluded that the contractor was entitled to 462 calendar days of compensable time. But and this was from the period of June 2023 to March of 2025. And where we differed in the cost was, and our amount was $580,400, and that was because the overhead rate that the Bureau of Engineering feels that the contractor is entitled to is significantly different than what the contractor rate is proposing. So as a result, we went through multiple back and forth negotiations with the contractor, but was unfortunately unable to come to a conclusion. So on March of 2025, in order to keep the project going, the Bureau of Engineering unilaterally directed the contractor to proceed with the contract work because we had all the plans already corrected and revised. And so what the item before the board today is to provide for the Bureau of Engineering to issue the unilateral change order in the amount of 580,400 for the undisputed time impacts that occurred between this time period from June 2023 to March 2025. And as a result, and the second item is to request an additional increase in the contingency of 1.125 on this project. And 580,000 of that was going to that change order that I described earlier. And then the remaining balance of the 544,600 will go to completing the remaining part of the change orders that's summarized in the change order table. And those include work that involve like water meter relocation, changes to the site conditions, changes in scope, and utility work that was unforeseen during the first part of the project. And with the remaining construction activity is anticipated to continue until spring of 2026. And that is what this remaining contingency that we're requesting for will help cover on going ahead on this project. And then with that, we have identified the additional funding sources that have been part of this 1.125 million request, and they come from the Measure M local return throughout the CTIEP funds. So with that, that concludes my report, and I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, any questions related to item number 2? Commissioner Cardenas.
Yes, thank you. I'm just curious, the entire project was engineered and surveyed, is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
So how was it that the discrepancy was found after, if it was completely surveyed and evaluated, how was it that when the construction started, there was discrepancies in what was in the field and what was surveyed?
At the start, during design, we always have a surveyor out there that comes up with that does the survey of our project limits. They put all that information into what we call a CAD file, computer-aided design file, which our designers use to design the sidewalks and street. So during that time, we so the design was done off of an actual survey prepared by a licensed surveyor, and I think what happened. So what happened in the field was that the contractor took those elevations, and when the contractor goes out there, they also they requested for the Bureau of Engineering survey to go out there to do the construction staking. So the surveyor will stake all the elevations that's on the plans, but somehow the survey that was done by the outside design consultant versus the BOE survey didn't jive at that time. So we had we had our own BOE survey go out there and do take survey shots of the work, and then we had the consultant, they had their survey go back, and eventually we met and worked together to try to resolve that issue. But I think it's kind of there's no kind of short answer really. It's
Well, wouldn't this come under errors and omissions in in the consulting contract if the information that their design was, lack of a better word, wrong or incomplete?
That's correct. This will be classified as error and omissions, and it will count against the design engineer record consultant that was on this project. So we did hold them accountable to resurvey the whole site, and then look at the plans, make the changes that they found were in error, and then and this will also impact the recommendation, the performance for them for future projects.
So was that redesign done on their dime, or did we pay for them the second time?
We did not pay for it the second time. They went back and made the changes on the plans.
All right, thank you.
Commissioners, any other questions or comments? Commissioner Mitchell.
What's the anticipated completion date at this point?
Right now, it's still the spring of 2026.
I can't hear you, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's the spring of 2026.
Spring of 2026?
That's correct.
Well, that could be March, April. It could be the end of June.
I believe right now it's the end of June 2026.
Okay. And so when did the project start?
This project was awarded on March 23rd, 2022, but the NTP I believe was issued more about six
It was
months
awarded
later.
in March of 2022. When did they start?
Do you know when
Is this a design bill?
No, Commissioner. It was a design, bid, and build.
Is design bid bill?
Correct. September? Okay. Yeah, the contractor mobilized on site on September of 2022.
Okay.
And then the board awarded the contract on March of 2022.
And then the delay was what period of time? Was it March 23?
The delay was for this change order
I'm
was
sorry.
from June 29, 2023 to March 18, 2025.
Okay, so June 23, there was the elevation discrepancies between the drawings and the actual surface conditions, correct?
That's correct.
And then when was the contractor taken off the job or told to stop pending resolution of those issues?
The contractor was initially told to stop the project on, I think we said fall 2023, but I believe that was about like September 2023.
Looks like fall 2023?
That's correct.
Demobilized from job site, reduced daily labor?
That's correct.
Okay, and then the next set of drawings went to Excel in December 2023. And change order was negotiated, issued in March 2024, correct?
That's correct, yes.
Then they demobilized again in June 24.
Correct. They demobilized a second time on June 2024.
And then new drawings were given in August 24th on September 24th, correct?
Correct. Then we started issuing the changes, the corrected plans with the elevation revisions in August and September of 2024.
And they didn't start back until about March 2025, correct?
No, they started working March 2025. That's correct.
Pardon?
March 2025. That's correct.
Okay. So have they gone back to work? They're back to work now since March this year.
Yes, they have. Yeah, they've been making good progress once all these plans have been.
So the actual time delay is about 462 days per your estimate? Of the agreed upon estimate, time and estimate?
The compensable, I'm sorry, the delay in the time that's being granted to the contractor, compensable is 462 days.
Okay.
Correct.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Vice President Chavez.
Yes, so let's see. So maybe I missed it, but can you talk to me a little bit more about how the original discrepancies made it through the original design and review process?
Right. Normally on our projects, we do have our own city survey that's available to do the survey of the site that we're doing our improvements on. In this particular project, I think due to probably the staffing shortage at the time, we're not able to meet our funding deadline for ATP, the design deadline. Because there was a backlog in the city survey request. So we put together, we put in a task order solicitation, included survey to be done by an outside surveyor. And normally that does get vetted through our BOE survey team. But I think I think it just kind of, we were not able to spot it during the design until the contractor went out there. Initially, we thought that the contractor had issues with their work and that they didn't build according to what the plans had said. So there was a lot of kind of like maybe the contractor didn't build correctly, the survey was incorrect, and we were not, even till now we managed to resolve like the issues, but we could not kind of identify the how these elevations kind of had a discrepancy. But I can look at that more further and get back to the board about it.
So just so I understand, so this was done by an outside consultant. You did a task for an outside consultant to do the design, and then the normal process is supposed to be reviewed by still, even if in-house staff don't actually do the work, they still are reviewing the work. So at some point that either didn't happen or didn't happen to the way that it's supposed to happen.
Right.
So I'd like to understand, has there been a review of that, and have there been additional internal controls been put in place since then to avoid this from happening in the future?
Yes, at least in our street improvement division, if we do have outside consultant survey that's being performed, I believe we may have just only submitted this through one review. So usually when we have a design, we have milestones. So we have submittals. So there's usually like at a 35% completion of design, there's a review submittal that we get, and we review it. And there's a 50%, and then there's like a 90 or a 100. So we have put in place, like, we should be making sure that in each milestone of the review that our BOE survey, our city survey, is also involved in the review process of the survey, just to make sure that nothing has changed as we go from as we progress in the project design phase. So we're trying to, and also now we're trying to limit like the amount of survey that's. We would prefer to do city survey as well in the future, just because a lot of the work that we do in here, we rely on the survey to be accurate. Like we are not able to kind of go out there as a designer for streets to verify these elevations work. And usually, so if at the during the review process, maybe if it was only one time that was given to survey, that could have some things could have been missed throughout that process. So we'll involve survey a lot more multiple times throughout the review cycle during the design if the survey is done by an outside party other than city.
I'd like to understand better what the accountability measures that are in place in order to ensure, whether it's this process or future projects, that there's, that this doesn't happen again, right? We just need to have appropriate measures to catch this stuff sooner rather than later. You could have addressed this in the design phase as opposed to later on when it's more expensive.
And a lot of that is not, so usually during the construction side as well, if the contractor once they form the proposed like sidewalk or the curb ramp, they're at fault too, because they could have easily told the inspector or told the engineer that, hey, I finished my end limit, but I think there's going to be it's not going to join level with the existing improvement or with the existing sidewalk or street. So there's some so the contractor in this instance went ahead and just poured the concrete and the curb. So they also themselves should have notified the engineer at that time as well, that there was going to be a discrepancy, and we could have resolved that. That we could have worked with them to make some refinements in the field to make that work. So in terms of kind of what's in place during the design, it'll be kind of more involvement with our city survey team. I think during construction, it's going to be a collaborative effort between our construction management team with the contractor and the inspector in the field. If they do spot that any issues with the elevation versus on the field versus on the design, on the construction drawings, then we should be kind of having that conversation. And in this project, I think that communication was lost, and that kind of resulted in the work being constructed already, and then the delays. The contractor was also trying to kind of build through the project as well.
So we have two more in the queue. First up, we have President Pro Tem Grant.
Thank you. I have two issues. One is I'm also sympathetic to you being thrown in the middle of this, all these errors and omissions. But to my colleague's point, I'm not sure where the appropriate point is or place is, but I think we need to see some sort of new measures taken for accountability so something like this does not arise again. And I'm not sure if this is an amendment to today's motion or what. But the second thing is, this has really perplexed me and sort of, it's somewhat upsetting that this thing grew this far. Let me just take the worst case scenario. If the board decides not to approve the change order, what will be the result of that?
The first, it would be the contractor would I believe they may stop work and file a claim with the city. But at the same time, they are also on the hook. They do still have a contract, so we would push for them to still continue to finish the project, and then we resolve all the issues that, guys, push them more towards the closeout of the project. What we were trying to do here is trying to take care of the claim, so that way they can continue to work, and then we can kind of put the cost, the undisputed cost behind so that both parties can continue working on the construction side. And please keep in mind that this is a unilateral change order, so the amount that we have is based on undisputed claim. So the contractor still has a right to dispute the remaining balance that they originally claimed for the 1.4 million. But we're gonna be sure to have put our best scrutiny and do all what we can to make sure that we come to we don't get to that point.
Next, we have Commissioner Cardenas.
Yeah, and not to beat a dead horse here, but how is it that the consultant, the consultant that went ahead and did the faulty design, for lack of a better term, how is it that they're not on the hook for the time delay, since they're in, unless you can prove me wrong, that they're the ones that caused this time delay? How is it that the city's on the hook for paying for the time delay and not the consultant who caused it?
That is actually an option that the city can pursue, can initiate to reclaim, to try to claim back the loss that the city has. I think it'll definitely take time and effort from our division that's already taking on a lot of multiple projects to deliver. And at the same time, we are aware of that. Not that we want them to be not on the hook for and responsible. So we have met with their management team, or their senior, or the management of that company, and you know, let them know about the issue, and they had offered, like, if we have any issues with the plans and anything that they will take care of that work. At the same time, they are still on the pre-qualified on-call list for our design work. So we still have an active contract with this on-call list. So definitely, the project managers will be on the lookout for performance history as we issue new work, and this is something that will come back and be considered in future evaluation of projects that we work.
Thank you. And President King, I don't know what the procedure is for that, but how do we see if we can go ahead and I don't want to stop the project and stop the process of this. I don't think it's the contractor's fault for working on drawings that were not 100%. And I, again, don't want to stop. The project's already been stopped for too long as it is, but to keep it moving forward. But at the same time, there's a reason why they have Arizona Emissions Insurance just for these types of things. I understand paying for change orders for items, unforeseen conditions that, by definition, we did not know existed. But when items like this come up and, they're human errors, not that they did it purposely, but, how can we make sure that the city's not on the hook for this? Every dime that we have, we need to make sure we're spending in the people's best interest. So just want to know how we can make sure that we follow up on that.
So thank you for your comments. So before your final comments, I wanted to suggest that I would like to continue for 1 week. And if you could, Mr. Wong, if you could follow up with Commissioner Cardenas, and then find the middle ground where we can best proceed next steps. And I think without delaying the project any further. So I would like to continue this for September 10th, 2025, which is next Wednesday.
Okay. Yeah, September 10th.
President Chavez.
Thank you, President King. I'm fine with the continuance. I would just ask 3 things if staff could come back with. The first thing is the question asked about quality control measures. What quality control measures are being implemented to prevent similar issues on future projects? Similarly, what lessons learned are being applied to other active transportation projects currently in design? And then to my colleague's point about cost recovery, will there be any cost recovery from the design consultant for the errors? So you may need to consult with city attorney on that one, but come back with those, that would be great.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you
I'm
very
taking note.
much. Moving on to, yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, President King. So just to confirm, item 2 is going to be continued to September 10th, 2025.
Correct. Thank you very much. Moving on to item number 3 for Council District 13, revised budget and change order number 15, 18, 32, and 52. Mr. Wong.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ethan Wong. I'm with the Bureau of Engineering's Environmental Engineering Division. We are looking to, for the board to authorize $1.3 million in additional contingency to approve a total construction budget of $14,800,000 for capital improvement project 4185, which is at the Los Angeles Glendale Water Reclamation Plant and is known as our preliminary treatment improvement project. So there are also 4 change orders that are above the city engineer's limit to issue. So we're also seeking board approval to issue those change orders and close out the project. So background on this project, it was originally awarded by the board on January 21st, 2022 for a original contract value of $8,196,000 with a original contingency of $414,000. So the total original budget was just over $8.6 million. It was awarded to JF Shea Construction. The primary scope has to do with the replacement of 3 influent pumps, which basically after wastewater comes into the LA Glendale plant, it's screened at our Headworks facility. So this screening process removes debris from the wastewater stream and then enters these 3 massive pumps. They're roughly 6-7 feet tall, and they all pump into a 51-inch header. And this header is about 20 feet below grade. And this whole structure or process has been in place for over 48 years and has reached the end of its service life. So that was the point of this project, is to basically replace these pumps, replace, excuse me, replace the pipe header, the 51-inch pipe header, and install improved control devices so that the pumps can basically be monitored from the control center at not only Los Angeles Glendale, but also at the Donald C. Tillman plant, where the 2 plants are co-managed by both groups at both Donald C. Tillman and LA Glendale. So remote monitoring of this equipment is very important. So that was a big part of the project, installing a local control panel and programmable logic controller and tying that into the overall Honeywell distributed control system. So in moving into the reason why we need this additional contingency and the change orders that necessitate this additional contingency, they all arise from this deep excavation of reaching the 51-inch pipe header. And they have to do with discovering of unknown utilities and largely these 2 electrical duct banks that are encased in concrete that were, roughly 10 feet and actually even stacked above each other. There were also additional utilities, underground pipes found below the duct banks, so making the work very difficult. So starting with change order 15, this has to do with the potholing that was necessitated as the contractor started to excavate down the 20 feet to reach the existing 51-inch pipe. In that process, the contractor started encountering different utilities that were not shown on the plans. There, unfortunately, were not very good as-built. This project was, in service for already 48 years. So the project was originally completed in the 1970s. Unfortunately, not all of the information was passed on from that time. So we did discover 2 existing electrical duct banks that caused varying degrees of difficulty in the excavation, which I'll get to in the next change order. But change order 15 largely addressed the potholing and the additional potholing we had to do as we discovered more utilities. As we first discovered these duct banks, we had to do more potholing to see what else was around. We discovered 12 additional underground pipes, some below these duct banks, so making the excavation very difficult. We did identify this as a change order early on and came to the board in August of 2024. And we identified the value of the potholing to be about $75,000. Unfortunately, this was vastly it was underestimated. We had to do some additional potholing as we continued work in the field. So the change order ballooned to about $100,000 from $75,000. So this is one of the change orders that we have in front of the board today. The next is change order 18, and this had to do with the shoring system for the excavation. So with the discovery of the utilities, that made the temporary shoring system, which basically supports the excavation walls, making it safe for the workers to enter the trench and do work down 20 feet below per OSHA standards. So because of the discovery of all these utilities, we did have to modify the shoring system. So there were additional design costs. And in the additional design costs, we also found that we had to deepen the excavation to make the shoring safe. So we had to remove an additional 120 cubic yards of dirt. And this increased labor, equipment, and materials, obviously. The limited space also required hand digging. So the contractor had originally bid that they would be able to use machine excavators and backhoes and things of that nature to remove all of the soil from the excavation. But in the discovery, in the potholing phase, we found there are too many utilities for that. And as you could see, finding pipes underneath duct banks, there had to be a lot of hand digging. So obviously that's increasing labor and slowing down the entire process. So there also is construction delay to the contractor's work, and thus we're on the hook for some extended overhead cost for the field staff to be on site longer. So this value was originally was in the original board report in August, where we asked for authority to issue it, and it was slated to be about $600,000 at that time. We did find, since the completion of all work, the value of this change order has also increased to $800,000. The third change order is change order 32. This has to deal primarily with the supports of the 2 electrical duct banks that were basically suspended in the excavation. So we had to dig below the duct banks, and because you're removing the soil from beneath them, they had to be supported. So after the discovery of that, we did also include in the August 2024 board report $50,000 to account for supporting these utilities. But in actuality, it became much more difficult. Much more supports and brackets were required to there's steel supports underneath the duct banks, and they're hanging from other steel beams that are suspended above the excavation. So it became a very intricate system. So this cost also, after all said and done, rose to $400,000. The last change order that is on this board report is related to a delay in procuring our sole source items. So we had the 3 influent pumps that I talked about, these massive pumps, as well as a local control panel, programmable logic controller that was sole sourced and is used throughout the various plants that the city owns and operates. So this was a sole source device as well. In procuring both of these items, we found there was an extensive delay from both of the vendor manufacturers getting both the pumps and the LCP PLC fabricated and delivered to the site. This unfortunately, because we had to do the bulk of the work during the dry season, this pushed the contractor's work from one dry season to the next. And so this change order is looking to compensate the contractor for prevailing wage increases for that extra year, basically. As time goes on, the state of California looks to raise prevailing wages roughly every 6 months for different classifications. So you could see over the course of the year, with your entire labor force is delayed from doing work, you will have increased costs there. So this is also, we are looking for the board to authorize us to negotiate this change order up to just over $300,000. So one of the reasons why we need the amount of contingency we do, there have been a lot of change orders on this project. It's been very difficult. But the good news is it is done. It was completed in February of this year. And so all the pumps are in service. The project's in good working order. We've connected to the Honeywell DCS system, so the plant's able to operate now. The hole's been filled up. One of the things I didn't mention earlier is that the preliminary treatment facility is on the one major road that, that allows access into the plant. So there are 2 access points, but the one in the back is much harder to use. So this is the primary access point for the trucks that come into the plant. So you could see it was a very, it was a hardship for the plant to have this construction ongoing. And one of the reasons why during the design phase, we couldn't really do an expansive potholing operation to find all of these utilities before, construction actually started. So we had to rely on the contractor to do this expansive potholing and discover all of these utilities. So since the time of the last board report, which is August 23rd, 2024, we have identified and negotiated over 36 change orders valued at roughly $4.4 million. The authorized contingency as of that board report was 5.3 million, or just over 5.3 million. So it only leaves about $300,000 left in the contingency to close out the project. And as I noted in the first 3 change orders, that value is, equals the $1.3 million that we need to be able to negotiate and execute these change orders with the contractor and fully close out the costs of this project. This project is funded by sewer construction and maintenance funds, so will not have any impact on the general fund. We have sought authorization from the program review committee through LA Sanitation and received approval from this funding. They do have these funds in the sewer construction and maintenance fund, so we are authorized for funding there if the board grants us authority to move forward with the execution of these change orders and additional contingency. So that concludes my report, and happy to answer any questions you may have. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, any questions or comments? I know this one very different from the previous item. I know there were a lot of unforeseen circumstances that popped up when you dug underneath our reclamation plant. So thank you for bringing this to our attention. Is there a first and a second?
Second.
First by Commissioner Mitchell, seconded by Commissioner Cardenas.
Very well. We'll go ahead and take a roll call vote on approval of item 3, starting with you, President Kang.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell. And Commissioner Cardenas.
Aye.
All ayes, and item 3 is adopted and will move forward forthwith.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Moving on to item number 4, for all council districts, requests for proposals, recycling and/or disposal of clean and mixed inert construction and demolition debris.
Good morning, Commissioners, Representatives.
Please speak directly into the mic. Thank you very much.
Yes, I'll speak up a little more. Martha Ineas, representing the Bureau of Street Services. Streets LA currently holds contracts with 5 disposal vendors for the recycling and/or disposal of clean and mixed inert debris, clean and mixed construction and demolition, bulky items, white goods, and mixed debris. The terms of these contracts are set to expire at the end of this calendar year. It is important to note that all 5 vendors are certified local business enterprise. As the city does not own or operate any recycling or disposal facilities for these types of debris, there is a continued and pressing need to procure new recycling and disposal contracts. To this end, Streets LA has prepared a request for proposals. The RFP proposes a 5-year term, inclusive of 2 5-year renewal options and an optional 6-month extension, with an anticipated effective date of January 1st, 2026. The estimated annual usage of this RFP is projected to be $14 million. All contracted facilities will be mandated to hold required licenses from the state of California and adhere to all applicable laws and regulations governing such facilities, including state, city, federal, Cal OSHA, and AQMD laws and regulations. The RFP does not encompass the transportation of debris to the recycling and or disposal facilities. Streets LA drivers will be responsible for delivering the debris directly to the contractor's facilities. To which facility we deliver the debris is predicated on the type of debris, the cost to the city, and the proximity to our project locations. We anticipate establishing contracts with multiple vendors to optimize service delivery. Our disposal contracts differ from those managed by the Bureau of Sanitation, which primarily address residential household waste. Streets LA predominantly handles inert debris, consisting mainly of asphalt, pavement, concrete, dirt, and street sweepings. Typically, asphalt removed from roadways is recycled at our recycling plant or at one of our contracted asphalt recycling plants. That material coming from those plants is composed of 50% recycled asphalt and 50% virgin materials with emulsifiers. Debris not directed to an asphalt recycling facility will be delivered to a facility whereby they will undergo separation and breakdown and be recycled or disposed. For example, an asphalt and concrete may be repurposed at a disposal facility as alternative daily cover for the active landfill faces, as winter deck material to support heavy trucks during inclement weather, or as engineered fill to enhance stability at the disposal site. Facilities accepting construction and demolition debris will be required to be city certified construction and demolition waste processors, maintaining a recycling rate of at least 65%. The RFP also addresses the disposal of bulky items and the recycling of white goods. While these items are generally not collected by Streets LA, their inclusion in the RFP is intended to ensure preparedness should Streets LA need to provide assistance to the Department of Sanitation, such as during post-earthquake or flood cleanups, or if Streets LA requires immediate removal of such debris. Due to the specialized expertise and technical nature of these services, the business inclusion program for this RFP has been waived. Additionally, since the as-needed services cannot be broken down into smaller projects, they do not qualify under the community-level contracting. However, should any proposer be able to subcontract any portion of the work, they shall be encouraged to subcontract to minority, women, small emerging, disabled veteran, and other business enterprises where feasible. Any contract awarded will additionally stipulate compliance with prevailing wage requirements as outlined in the provisions of the California Labor Code pertaining to public work wages. We anticipate releasing the RFP promptly upon receiving the board's approval of this request and anticipate receiving proposals approximately 6 weeks thereafter. We'll move as quickly as possible, reviewing, negotiating, and drafting the new contracts in order to return promptly to this board with our recommendation for award. This concludes my presentation. I can address any questions you may have.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. Any commissioners with questions or comments related to this item? Commissioner Cardenas.
Thank you for that. Question, do you anticipate any new contractors bidding on this? I understand it's out of your, it's a crystal ball question, but do you anticipate new contractors in the area that may be interested in bidding on this contract?
We always hope that as many contractors as possible do. We always hope that as many possible contractors do propose. We haven't reached out to anyone, but yes, we have made our Nexus code available to all proposals that are out there. So yes, in essence, we do anticipate more, or at least hope.
Yeah. Thank you.
Any other commissioners with questions or comments? Commissioner Mitchell.
So the current contracts expire the end of the year. What's the time for bid opening? I didn't see that in the report.
So as soon as the board approves it, we will post it for release that same day.
Is there a pre-bid meeting anticipated?
There will be a pre-bid bid meeting, and that will be approximately 2 weeks after it's been posted, giving the proposers about 4 weeks to submit their proposals.
Okay, and what about the time for evaluating the proposals that are submitted, the bids that are submitted?
Excuse me?
Time for evaluation of the bids submitted.
We designed our bid sheets so we could review them as quickly as possible. Hopefully, if we don't have any questions, we'll go through it as quickly as possible. I can't estimate exactly how long that will be.
And you're anticipating this contract to start January 1st. What happens if you're still in the process of trying to evaluate those bids?
We are looking at other options in case that does happen, that the contracts are not executed prior to the current contract's expiration date. We have also, we have like options like maybe a bridge AFE, maybe asking our vendors to hold off payment for payment until the new contracts are executed, because we do intend to have a ratification clause in the contracts, meaning that if they wish to provide us service, they can, but will not get paid until those contracts are executed.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I am also anticipating a robust process once this becomes public, so very much looking forward to it. Seeing no other questions or comments, is there a first and a second?
So moved.
First by Commissioner Cardenas, seconded by Commissioner Mitchell.
Very well. We will go ahead and take a roll call vote on approval of item 4, starting with you, President Kane.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell. And Commissioner Cardenas.
Aye.
All ayes. Item 4 is adopted and will move forward forthwith.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
Moving on to item number 5, the Measure HLA appeal process. We'll hear the report and take public comment.
Thank you, President King. This is TJ Knight with the Board of Public Works, and we just have a motion before the board that mandates the submission process for Measure HLA appeals. The Department of Transportation have developed a portal on its website for the members of the public who wish to appeal a Measure HLA decision on Measure HLA for projects that allows for checks and balances to make sure that the appeal is complete, such that another transmission process, such as an email exchange, might require quite a bit of back and forth in order to make that complete. It's relatively simple. The motion includes a link to the mobility dashboard from which the appeal form can be accessed.
Thank you for that. With that, one point of clarification, if you look at the motion, although we are asking for electronic submissions, completed written appeals still can be filed directly to the Department of Transportation via mail. So there is that option still available to the public. With that, we will take one public comment. Mr. Joe Linton. You have 1 minute related to this item.
Thank you. I'm someone who submitted an appeal already. The form that you're looking at has typos and the instructions don't make sense grammatically. So I would ask you to clean up the form if you want to send people there. It's tied to the DOT's website, which is missing all of the city repaving info, which is the main trigger of HLA improvements. So you've got a funky form attached to an incomplete website. And then I just urge the board to take Measure HLA seriously. Voters approved, multimodal transportation, safer streets for biking and walking, and the city has largely put on hold those sorts of improvements. And I just urge you to take that seriously, make this form work, and consider these appeals that people are at least a dozen have already been submitted. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much for your public comment. For commissioners and for the general public's awareness, this is a brand new process. So there are some things that we're working on in partnership with the Department of Transportation. This isn't all here at Public Works. So we ask for your patience as we clean up and consult with our city attorney and all of our partners. And we are taking, all of our appeals seriously. So, but until this is passed, all current options of receiving the appeals is being accepted. So please do not worry, even if this passes, all of your former submissions are valid moving forward. So commissioners, any other comments or questions related to this motion? So this will take effect September 8th, 2025, if passed. All right. So I'll move.
Second.
Or actually, VP Chavez already, seconded. So I moved, and then Vice President Chavez seconded.
Very well. We have our first by President Kang, a second by Vice President Chavez, and we'll go ahead and take a roll call vote on approval of item 5, starting with you, President Kang.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell and Commissioner Cardenas.
Aye.
All ayes, and item 5 is approved, and we'll move forward forthwith.
Thank you very much. Moving on to our final item of today's agenda, item number 6, oral report from Metro and the Department of Transportation project status update.
Good morning. My name is Kimberly Ong, Senior Executive Officer at LA Metro and representing Sammy Galley, Deputy Chief for Program Management, also at LA Metro. We really appreciate your time that we can present our 5 transit projects under construction. So thank you very much. On the next slide is just listing the 5 projects that we will be presenting. For each of the projects, we have representation from project management, community relations, and also our business interruption fund. So for the first project, I'd like to introduce Kimberly Wilson, who will be presenting the West Side Purple Line Extension Section 1.
Good morning. Can you hear me? Good morning. My name is Kimberly Wilson, an executive officer with LA Metro, and I'm here to present on West Side Purple Line Extension Section 1. The project consists of three stations located across 3.92 miles along Wilshire Boulevard, of which 2 are in the city of Los Angeles. As noted, we are 100% completed with design, with the overall project at a completion rate of 98%. We have a budget of $3.73 billion with a forecasted revenue service date of fall 2025. Next slide. Currently, at the Wilshire La Brea station, we are completing civil restoration of Wilshire Boulevard, along Wilshire Boulevard, and completion of the entrance structure, the escalator finishes, as well as our installations. At the Wilshire Fairfax station, we are currently performing civil restoration, completion of the station entrance structure, as well as architectural finishes. Overall, the project is in the middle of systems integration testing, and there are no planned street closures.
Good morning, President Gang, Vice President Chavez, and Commissioners. My name is Juan Solorio, and I am the Manager for Community Relations on the D-Line Subway Extension Project for Section 1, 2, and 3. I'll be briefly highlighting public outreach efforts on behalf of the Community Relations team. In Section 1, I'm happy to report that no complaints were logged during the 3-day weekend, 3-block closure of Wilshire Boulevard west of Western from August 8th to August 10th. In advance of the weekend closure, notices were distributed in 3 languages, including Spanish and Korean, along the impacted corridor via door-to-door distribution, as well as Metro's Community Relations newsletter and regional newsletter. Those newsletters reached to over 200,000 subscribers. We also mailed over 20,000 notices. Notices were also distributed to local stakeholders and local neighborhood councils. Notices were also posted on the project website. Lastly, in advance of that same closure, a virtual community meeting was held to describe the closure and construction activities on July 24th. I'll now hand it off to Angela Winston, Director of the Business Interruption Fund.
Good morning. For the Business Interruption Fund, as of the end of last month, we normally get our numbers monthly. We've awarded 446 grants. That's up 12 from the last time we reported out, for a grant value of just a little over 13.2 million. Of course, that's since the inception of the project. Since our last report, that's up almost $300,000. And our business count now is about 119, meaning that 119 individual businesses, many of those businesses receiving multiple grants. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Aria Adow, and I oversee Metro's
I oversee Metro's business engagement and mitigation programs, of which each shop play is a part. Here to deliver our program updates is JC Lacey from the consultant team.
Thank you, Aria. Good morning, board. I'm JC Lacey, Chief Strategist for Eat Shop Play. Just to recap, Eat Shop Play is a construction mitigation program focused on marketing assistance and visibility for impacted businesses. The first slide is a snapshot of the enrolled businesses. You can see it's broken down by neighborhood and by category, which are Eat, Shop, Play, and Services. We have a total of 49 businesses enrolled, and we have executed 15 photo shoots on behalf of those businesses for future use and visibility. In terms of meetings, we participated on August 13th in the D-Line Sections 1 and 2 Lunch with Us webinar, where we delivered collateral and promoted applications for enrollment. And then in terms of other meetings, we conduct monthly workshops. We conduct coaching and one-on-one coaching for the businesses. So on August 26th, we delivered part of our 3-part series, Social Media Made Easy. So really getting hands-on and teaching businesses how to take control of their presence online. And the next workshop for Eat Shop Play is on September 30th. That's my update. Thank you.
That concludes the presentation for Westside Purple Line Extension Section 1. Are there any questions on that project?
President Pro Tem Grant.
If you could remind me, what entities are involved in the play section of Eat Shop Play? Hotels or?
Can you repeat the question, please?
So what entities would be included in the play section of Eat Shop Play?
Play sections would be entertainment, theaters, museums, this type of festivals and that type.
Thank you.
One quick comment. I did want to commend and thank everybody. I know when the Wilshire Western was being closed last month, I know we had to go back on the dates, and I know there were no complaints, hopefully because we had to avoid some key dates that the community was celebrating during that month. So appreciate everybody's patience with that. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
I would also comment that it is nice to see La Brea back to normal after I don't know how many years. So it's, and certainly at Fairfax as well. So we're making progress, and we're expecting any time to get a date so we can go to La Brea and play. I mean that board, that is, not everybody. We won't invite the world. It's not time yet.
You can continue to the next section.
Thank you. The next project for the presentation is Westside Purple Line Extension Section 2. The presenter today is Kunle Okunrinde.
Good morning, commissioners. Good morning, everyone. My name is Kunle Ogunrinde, Purple Line Section 2 Deputy Executive Officer in charge of the construction. And I'm just going to give a brief overview on progress on the project. So Section 2 pretty much continues from where Section 1 ends. So we start off at Wilshire and La Cienega, the station that will be built and completed by Section 1, go 2.6 miles westwards with 2 new stations, all the way to Century City. There's one station in Beverly Hills called the Beverly Drive Station. And the next slide, please. And the previous one, I think the previous one. Yeah, that one. Yeah, just real quickly here. This just gives a summary of the project. The contractor is Tito Perini and ONG Industries joint venture. We are 100% complete on the design. And the overall project progress, including the construction, is at 81% complete. Project budget is about $2.7 billion. And our planned revenue service date is for fall 2026. Next slide. Yeah, thank you. So there's some images on here just to kind of show you the progress we're making. We have an image on the top left showing the concourse entrance construction, as well as some image at the bottom showing the station backfill with the utilities on top of the arched roof. And just a few highlights over the last quarter. We are doing placement of concrete for the upper walls and roof at the station entrance. That is ongoing work. We're also installing ceiling embeds and acoustical spraying. The acoustical spraying really helps us with dampening the sound. And then we're putting in sewer line supports and backfill above the roof. That's underway. The third bullet there, that's actually completed work for the rebound form work for the upper concourse slab and exterior walls. We've completed that. And the final bullet here, we're talking about the power trenching for DWP permanent power. That work is substantially complete at this point. Now I'll go on to the last slide, which shows the upcoming street closures. And just a little legend here, the green hatch is essentially current or previous lane restrictions that we have in place. So that will take us all the way through the end of the third quarter. And the solid green are the planned street closures, anticipated street closures going into the fourth quarter and early next year. So I will highlight 3 locations. The first one is at Constellation West from Solar Way to Avenue of the Stars. The second planned street closure is for Constellation and Avenue of the Stars intersection. And the last one is Constellation East from Avenue of the Stars to Century Park East. Now, the planned street closures are to really get our deck removed. We have those precast deck panels that we need to take off so that we can restore the street to final condition. And also we have some station appendage construction and the final street restoration. That's the whole purpose of the street closures. Our team is working closely with the BOE and DOT and other partners, CONAD also, to make sure that we have minimal impacts on the community during these closures. Thank you. That concludes my presentation.
Commissioners, again, my name is Juan Solorio, and I'm the manager for community relations. In Century City, the construction relations team is meeting on a monthly and on as needed basis with stakeholders for this area that it predominantly consists of major hotels and commercial properties. And we meet with them to explain ongoing and planned construction activities, as well as the closures associated with those activities. In advance of the aforementioned planned roadway deck panel removal, our team is meeting with stakeholders to obtain support for an expedited deck removal plan requiring a 10-day full closure at Constellation Boulevard and Avenue of the Stars. Thus far, the feedback has been largely supportive. And during our last Century City property management meeting on August 19th, stakeholders were informed of the plan activities. On July 9th, we hosted the joint Purple Line Extension 1, 2, and 3 virtual webinar where progress was updated, progress on construction activities was provided, and we had about 90 attendees. Our next webinar will be on October 10th, and with that, I'll turn it over to Angela Whiston.
Hello again. With regard to Purple Line Section 2, we've awarded 204 grants total. That's up 3 since last time we reported out. The grant value a little over $6.4 million on that project. Since the last report, that's up about $130,000, and the total business count is up 1 with a total of 64 individual businesses. And JC, thank you.
Good morning once again. Just a quick update on Section 2. Section 2 has a total of 6 enrolled businesses. We've done 2 photo shoots for those businesses. And in terms of community meetings, the program did present and participate on the August 13th Beverly Hills Station meeting, as well as the August 26th workshop that I previously mentioned for all of the enrollees for all of the sections. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioners. Any questions or comments? President Pro Tem Grant.
With respect to the community relations and public outreach, on your second paragraph, the feedback has been largely supportive. Can you give us an idea of what was your anticipated universe? How many people responded in terms of your feedback? What percentage was positive? And what was the substance of those who were not in the majority of being supportive?
Yeah, so our property managers meeting for Century City consists of predominantly hotels and high rises. And from those meetings, they have been sort of unanimous. I don't recall folks being opposed to it. I think the benefit of the expedited closure is that it would occur within 2 months instead of a longer period. And so a lot of the properties at Century City are looking forward to having the work completed as fast as possible. So I don't recall any real opposition to this plan. Thank you.
And then Commissioners, any other questions or comments? All right.
Thank you. So I will be presenting the next project. Good morning again, Kimberly Ong, Senior Executive Officer and also Project Manager for the Purple Line Extension Section 3. So for this project, this is the third and the last section for the 9-mile extension of the Purple Line. Currently, our project, we are at 71% complete. Our overall budget is $3.6 billion, and our revenue service forecast is in 2027. We do have 2 underground station, one at Westwood UCLA, and the other station at the Westwood VA Hospital Station. The next slide, please. So this is the progress at our Westwood UCLA station. We made a lot of progress since we last presented. Currently, in the main box of our station, the contractor has finished the overall box as well as the concourse level. So that means they did the roof, the exterior walls. Right now, the contractor, they're finishing up the interior walls. They're working on getting the rooms ready, bringing in major equipment, doing cable pulling. And also, as part of the UCLA station, we have 2 other entrances. They started working at the southeast entrance, and currently they're at 98% complete doing that piling. And then coming later this fall, they'll continue with the work at the southeast and northeast entrance. At the next slide, please. This is at the Westwood VA Hospital Station. At this location, the contractor, they finished at the concourse level. So they've now started the roof, they're working on the exterior walls, and also at the main entrance for that station. Also at this location, we will be bringing in a new water service. In the city of LA, there's a portion that we are connecting to at Wilshire and Federal, and we're currently at 96% complete with that water connection there. And then the remainder of that connection is in the county right-of-way. And then we have some photos showing the progress that we have at our station. The next slide, this is at their tunnels, and we've been including the tunnels update because we've had excavation on our project, and I'm very happy to report that we are now done with all excavation and all of our tunneling on the project. So we finished our tunneling with our tunnel boring machines back in 2023, and our contractor has been working on our 14 cross passages. We just finished excavating our last cross passage, so this slide will now come off, but we're very happy that now all that excavation and the mining in our tunnels are now complete. The next slide is with our And this is saying a street closure. Really what this is, these are really lane closures. So the type of closures that we've been having on our project is primarily been nights and weekends. We have some things during the day, but we're very mindful of keeping the 2 lanes in each direction during the morning and afternoon peak hours. Now, upcoming, you heard similar to Section 2 about having the deck removal and the backfill. We have similar type of work on Section 3. So we've been working with LADOT, our key stakeholders in Council District 5 on the type of street closures, and they're very similar to what we had before when we had the deck placement. So that's why we're showing this really long band. Because we're not doing a full, complete closure of Wilshire Boulevard. So we have different types of work. Again, similar to Section 2, we'll have backfill above the station. There's still some utilities with power that we'll be bringing out along Wilshire Boulevard above the now completed roof. We'll have the deck removal, and then also we'll have the construction of our northeast and our southeast entrance at UCLA. And then after all of that, then we're gonna have some restoration. But again, this is not a full street closure. These are lane closures and our current forecast of these lane closures.
Commissioners, once again, my name is Juan Solorio, and I'm the manager for community relations. I'm happy to report that Metro provided updates on construction progress to several elected offices in the last month. The offices expressed appreciation for the briefings, along with an eagerness to amplify Metro's message and communication to their stakeholders. Recently, Community Relations also provided public comments to the Westwood Village Improvement Association, and highlighting plan outreach and engagement efforts by Metro. And we also continue weekly coordination meetings with the West LA VA Hospital. We're also excited to announce on the next slide that we are beginning our outreach efforts to select the permanent names of the Westwood UCLA and the Westwood VA station. On the slide, you'll see some of our collateral that we've been sharing with the elected offices, and we're also developing a social media kit. Metro will be soliciting names from local stakeholders based on Metro's adopted name station policy. Stations in adherence to Metro's policy will be named to maximize convenience for the rider. Naming will provide travel information in a simple, straightforward, and unified way to assist navigating the transit system, and station names will reflect the following principles, which actually very hard to see from this angle right here, but my understanding is that it goes for simplicity, given that we can't have, we don't have enough space on the signs. It will also reference context of the neighborhood that's unique to the transit system. And there's 2 more principles on there. Apologize. And so our outreach tactics will include in-person engagement at community events with local stakeholders, engaging elected offices and institutional stakeholders such as UCLA and the VA the LA VA Hospital, and the digital communications such as Metro social media news and channels, paid advertisement, email communications, and as I mentioned, the social media kit that's being developed. And that's the end of my report. Thank you.
Commissioners, one final update for D-Line from Eat Shop Play, and that is that we are in coordination with Juan and the construction relations team, as well as one of the key stakeholders that was mentioned, the Westwood Village Improvement Association, on a refresh strategy and outreach plans for Eat Shop Play in that area.
Great, thank you. Colleagues, any questions on Purple Line Section 3? Oh, one more slide. Sorry, go ahead.
Once again, with regard to the Business Interruption Fund on Section 3 of the Purple Line, we've awarded $25 grants, up 5 from the last time we reported out, for a grant value of just under $1 million at this point on Section 3. Since the last report, that's up about $243,000. Our business count is 5, that's up 1. I know our fund administrator has had a little bit of a challenge trying to get some of the business owners to apply to the program, especially those businesses that are located in the high rises. Most of all, I would imagine, I think all of these businesses actually are located in the Wilshire Westwood area there, where the UCLA station is, as that is the majority area of where the small businesses that would be eligible for the program are located. So we're hoping that as we roll along on Purple Line Extension 3, we can, increase that number exponentially. Thank you.
Okay. And
so-
so that concludes the Section 3 portion. Okay. Any questions, colleagues?
What's our anticipated opening date? Opening?
Oh, currently our revenue service, we're forecasting in fall of 2027.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you can continue.
All right, thank you. Our next project is the East San Fernando Valley Transit Project, and presenting is Greg Gastella.
Good morning, Vice President Chavez, and Commissioners. I'm Greg Estella. I'm a Senior Executive Officer with LA Metro, and I'm the project manager of our East San Fernando Valley Light Rail Transit Project. This project will be providing a light rail system down the middle of Van Nuys Boulevard from Oxnard Street near our G Line BRT station all the way up to San Fernando Road. Included are 11 stations and a maintenance and storage facility for 33 vehicles that will be necessary to provide operations and service to the corridor. Our project budget is $3.57 billion, and we're still targeting to forecast starting revenue service by late 2031. So in doing that, we have brought on a progressive design build contract to support the majority of the construction of the project, as well as a public-private partnership contract to provide us with the solar panels and some battery storage facilities to serve the maintenance and storage vehicle buildings. To date, we are continuing to focus on getting final design completed, and with that, we will be anticipating that we can enter into a phase 2 of our progressive design build contract, which is the big major construction project. We're looking to start that, get that done by the springtime, and hopefully break ground by summer of next year. Concurrently, as you can imagine, trying to prepare the corridor and to build a light rail system down the middle of the road, we're trying to get all the utilities that are out there in Van Nuys Boulevard out of our way. So we've been doing a lot of coordination on that, and I'll kind of briefly give you an update on some of those areas. Right now we're dealing with working with Southern California Gas, and we have a lot of utility relocations on cross streets that are going to be completed. Our next round is at Wyandotte Street, where we're anticipating that this month we're going to start some of that utility work. And then by the end of the year at Sherman Way, Southern California Gas will also be doing some utility relocation to get some of that high pressure gas line systems out of our way. We are working with LADWP on remaining intercept work for underground vault and conduit systems that we completed at Telfair earlier this year. And then in major coordination with LADWP, we're working very closely as we develop our designs, and they continue to develop their designs on a completely different undergrounding electrical power effort and program that they have going on. A lot of that is also requiring a lot of construction coordination. So we're doing a lot of that work very closely and moving along on that front. So on some of the other utility relocation work or adjustments that we have in place, we started a lot of that work late last year, and we're starting to wrap up some of it. At Vincennes and to Plummer, we have a work zone located with some K-rail out there to provide a safe working environment for both operation of the street as well as in the construction zones. And we're just about ready to complete. We're around 95% complete on that. We're going to be picking up that K-rail hopefully by the end of this month, and then just finishing up some street restoration work and some other minor lateral work that's required for that underground effort. In regards to relocation work between Galt Street and Armenta, we'll be putting down some more K-rail along Van Nuys Boulevard to extend that work zone up to Armenta Street. That's, we anticipate that's around a 2-year process. We're still doing pretty well on that. We've completed a lot of the work at Raymer and Keswick. A lot of that work's going to take lane closures during the day and possibly some night closure work or street closure work in the evening hours. So we're continuing to monitor that and continue to implement that work and get that and continue again to make schedule on that. Some work that we're anticipating to start later this year are some water relocation work associated again in Van Nuys Boulevard, and again in the interest of clearing some of the relocation work out of the way of our major construction efforts. And this chart here kind of shows where we are as we approach the ending of our third quarter. We're pretty much going to be complete at the Plummer area and at Guild Hill Street. So like I said, we're going to be looking to pick up that K-rail and getting that operation back to the way it was before by the end of the month. And then just some minor work efforts regard there. And then there's indication of some of the areas that we have planned for again, lane closure work as well as some night street closure work to support, again, the relocation work in 2 and 3, utility adjustments 2 and 3, and the future water line work associated with the utility adjustments 7 and 5 as indicated on the chart. So that concludes my update on construction and where we are overall on the project. And I'd like to invite my colleagues here to give you an update on construction outreach efforts we have going on, as well as construction mitigation programs that we have implemented as part of this project.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for giving the opportunity to present on community relations on behalf of the East San Fernando Valley Light Rail Transit Project. My name is Raymond Acevedo. I'm a community relations officer for the project, standing in for our manager, Maria Lopez. To start, we have some tentative community meeting updates coming up. We anticipate them to take place next month, October 29th, as well as November 5th. These are quarterly committee meetings that we host to provide project information and important construction updates. We do rotate those throughout the community. So through Van Nuys, Panorama City, Arleta, and Pacoima, we do anticipate returning to Panorama City for these community meetings. One will be virtual and one will be in person. We also recently held an in-person Community Leadership Council meeting last month on the 14th. What we do is we have an advisory body of 15 community members, and we provide important project updates and construction update information, and we're available to answer any questions and receive feedback from these community members. We also assisted our countywide planning team with 2 meetings, one virtual and one in person. These meetings were to present information on a parking study that was conducted along the project corridor. And the purpose of these meetings was to gather community input. We're now analyzing and preparing to report back on data collected from those meetings. In addition, we also host monthly meetings with local council offices that alternate virtually and in person. We provide important project updates and answer council office questions. We also meet as needed with these council offices when we need assistance and feedback on bigger construction activities. The construction relations team also continues to engage the local neighborhood councils to provide community meeting information and updates on relevant construction activities. Last month, we did attend Van Nuys, Pacoima, and Arleta, and we do plan to attend Panorama City tonight. Our outreach also involves meeting the community where they're at. We attend various community events, and most recently attended a local National Night Out event last month, a back-to-school event at the Mid-Valley Family YMCA, and we also attended a business mixer hosted by Assembly Member Celeste Rodriguez, where we got to speak to a lot of businesses near the corridor or along the corridor. The construction relations team is also the lead in coordinating for bilegal construction notices and meeting flyers that we distribute to over 23,000 businesses that are along the project corridor and the work areas. These are, again, within 1/4 of a mile radius from the project corridor. The project also leverages our growing stakeholder database of over 3,000 stakeholders who are emailed important project information. We also utilize our project website to post all of our community meetings, presentations, and recordings, as well as important construction notices. Lastly, the construction relations team conducts direct outreach to businesses and stakeholders along the corridor, with prioritizing those with active construction coming up in their area. What we do is we go out and we do profiles to get important business hour operations in order to facilitate mitigation measures when we have that construction in front of their business or adjacent. Through these efforts, our team ensures transparent and proactive communication with all of our stakeholders along this project corridor. Thank you. And I'll pass it off to my colleague, Angela Winston, to talk about the Business Interruption Fund.
Once again, hello. With regard to, well, right here you can see all three of our construction mitigation programs. Starting with the Business Interruption Fund, we're very excited with the progress we've made on East San Fernando Valley. We anticipated just a little over 2,000 businesses that may be eligible for the Business Interruption Fund. Again, having those construction disruptions with this project. Already, almost half of them have met with outreach teams, about 1,000 businesses, with our New Economics for Women, who is the community business partner for our fund administrator, Pacific Coast Regional. So they have done amazing work there. We've also had 4 workshops for the Business Interruption Fund, have been very well attended, already 50 business owners per workshop. That was primarily during the months of May and June. Coming back around to kick off our fall season of BIF workshops, we're looking at the 1st and 2nd weeks of October on that. And even with all of the outreach, our workshops, and making the community aware and educated on the BIF, the fund administrator has already received 336 applications. So that is real good for just having to launched on the project just a few months ago. I'll just briefly mention our Business Solutions Center, which also will be on the East San Fernando Valley project. Again, that will have and provide business support services and technical assistance for these same businesses. We will have an announcement coming soon as to our direction on the BSC. As you can see here, the grants that have been awarded, again, fast start on East San Fernando Valley. Our first grant was awarded May 23rd. We've now awarded 16 grants for a total of over $500,000. So it's moving quite quickly. You can see that that's up almost $467,000 since we last reported out. Our business count is 16. And we do expect to move rapidly. Right now, our fund administrator has two grant approval committee meetings per month. That may increase to weekly so that we can accommodate all the applications and all the business owners that are applying for the program. Lastly, you can see our total for all projects. Pretty impressive. We're kind of at the 10-year mark as the Business Interruption Fund started in 2015. We're rapidly reaching almost $50 million. We hope to do some sort of celebration with that number. But right now, a total of 509 businesses program-wide participate in the program. So very pleased with that progress. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, commissioners. It's 12 o'clock now, I think I can say afternoon, yes. Updates for East San Fernando Valley. We are very active and excited about this project. We have 109 enrolled businesses, and that comes from the efforts of going door to door and speaking Spanish and English to get those enrollments. You can see the numbers broken down by area. Next slide, please. Well, we've done 14 photo shoots in that area as well. And we're very active with the workshops and the courses and the coaching, again, in English and Spanish. That's very important for that area. In terms of community meetings, we participated last month on August 14th in the Community Leadership Council meeting that was shown previously. And those are the updates for eShop Play.
So that concludes our presentation for East San Fernando Valley. Any questions that we may answer?
I think we're good to proceed.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you. And our final project presenting today is Melissa Lai for the G-Line BRT improvements.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Melissa Lai. I'm a Director of Engineering with Metro, here to present today on the G-Line BRT Improvements Project. So as a reminder, this project consists of 4 major elements, the first one being the railroad-style 4-quadrant gates and traffic signal resurfacing at all other intersections. We also have a grade separation and BRT aerial station at Van Nuys Boulevard, which also includes a grade separation at Vesper. We have a grade separation at Sepulveda Boulevard, and our last item is the bike path improvements. So to give an update on the construction activities, completed activities include the Van Nuys CIDH foundation installation. Some ongoing activities include the fiber duct bank and conduit installation and storm drain installation. As we're looking ahead into the fall, some upcoming activities include the pilot gate testing at Havenhurst pedestrian crossing, that's within the Metro right-of-way. We also have the Van Nuys superstructure false work installation, so essentially a temporary structure that will support the concrete formwork while the bridge becomes self-supporting. Also important to note that a majority of the work will be within Metro right-of-way. Traffic control is being coordinated very closely with the City of LA with our DOT and BOE counterparts. That includes shoulder closures, temporary lane closures, and other minor impacts to the traveling public. Regarding upcoming street closure requests, we have one to note. We have a temporary nighttime full closure on Van Nuys and Vesper. That's between Etna and Bessemer for the upcoming bridge construction. This work is anticipated to start in September and will be in effect intermittently for approximately 9 months. The anticipated work hours, again, this is a nighttime closure, so the anticipated work hours will be 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. Monday through Thursday at night, and 9 p.m. to 8 a.m. on Fridays and Saturdays. Coordination is ongoing, but the traffic control plans, as mentioned previously, are being approved through LADOT and coordinated very closely with LABOE. And I should also note that the access to the driveways will also be maintained. And I'll hand it off to my colleague Rosalba to provide an update on community relations and public outreach.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Rosalba Gonzalez. I'm the Construction Relations Manager for the Metro G-Line Improvements Project, and it is my pleasure to share what our team has been doing to reach out to the community. Most of our project right now is taking place along the community, affecting the communities of Lake Balboa, Van Nuys, and Sherman Oaks, and most of our outreach has been dedicated to Van Nuys and those communities, but we have also reached out to adjacent communities that are along the G-Line Improvements Project, and I'm happy to report that we have been to 17 of the 19 neighborhood councils that are part of the G-Line adjacent communities, and we are also working to notify the community. We have notified the community of our upcoming pilot gate testing at the G-Line crossing at Havenhurst Avenue that serves as an entrance to the Lake Balboa Park. For a lot of the community members, we have worked to put up signs and wayfinding that explains the closure. It will be temporary for a few weeks while our project team and LADOT conduct their testing on the pilot gate technology that will be chosen for this project later on in the pilot gate installation. our team has also been tabling in community meetings. We have partnered with our East San Fernando Valley Light Rail Transit Project team, tabling at different communities, sharing our project progress and construction updates to ensure the community receives a cohesive message from Metro about both of our projects and our timelines regarding our construction activity where we overlap, mostly primarily at Oxnard and Van Nuys. We are also reaching out to the business community, reaching out to VICA, reaching out to the Greater San Fernando Valley Chamber of Commerce and other smaller chambers along the alignment to make sure that their membership is also informed of the construction progress. We are happy to share any other information, but I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. And I will pass it on to Angela to talk about the Business Solutions Center.
With regard to the Business Solutions Center, as I said, more will be coming on the direction, but we are getting it up and running soon. We will first launch the Business Solutions Center on East San Fernando Valley and G-Line improvements as they are pretty adjacent. The BSC will also be eligible going forward for BRT projects as well as light rail transit projects. And just a little bit of history on the Business Solutions Center. The only other project that it was on was the Crenshaw LAX project as a pilot program. It is now a permanent program. So we're looking forward to the launch and as it moves forward to some of the other Metro projects that are upcoming soon. So again, this will be a business support program as opposed to that is still different from Eat Shop Play, different from the BIF, but of course will work in conjunction with all of those projects. Thank you.
So thank you again for inviting LA Metro to present our projects. Did you have any questions on the G-Line or any of the prior projects?
Commissioners, any other questions? One request is the Board of Public Works, we hold once a month meeting at our Van Nuys City Hall. It is our second Friday of each month. And we would, given that there's a lot of projects in the Valley, would it be possible to have our next update at our future Van Nuys meeting?
That's a really good question, and we will take a look at that and get back to you. Thank you.
Yeah, we would love to host you all there, given that a lot of our Valley constituents come out there, and I think this would be very much valuable.
Great. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. All right, Mr. Knight, does that conclude our voting items for today?
Yes, it does, President Gang.
All right, our next meeting will be on Friday, September 5th, 2025. The meeting is now adjourned at 12:15 p.m.